Today I have an unboxing for you guys. This is part of EVGA's DS series of cards. That is not to say that it is like the Nintendo DS in that it's neat but underpowered. That is to say that it is... I actually don't know what it stands for, but all their DS cards have this really cool heatsink design, so maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know, dual slot? Mind you, all the heatsinks are dual slot these days, pretty much. Dual fan would be DF. Maybe someone can post in the comments under this video what exactly the DS thing in the name stands for. So this is basically a GTX 560 Ti with an aftermarket cooler made by EVGA, who is proud to proclaim themselves to be #1 seller of of NVIDIA-based products in the US, the #1 in reliability and service, the #1 in performance, and the #1 folding at home team. Although I don't think I should talk too much about the folding at home team, because NCIX has its own folding at home team, which is pretty good as well. So you've got 24/7 support, as well as EVGA's coveted warranty service. All right, key features include DirectX 11. We've come to expect that at this point. All the usual NVIDIA stuff, including two-way SLI, CUDA, PhysX, 3D Vision, as well as 3D Vision Surround if you grab two of them and run them in SLI mode. You can use EVGA's utilities, including Precision, as well as their OC scanner. And let's flip it around. This is a super clocked card, which means it's not the highest priced, highest performing. It's not the second highest priced, second highest performing, but it's the step up from the stock clocked cards that are also available. So we've got one of those EVGA Skull Dude posters, which I often have a really hard time getting unfolded for some reason. Let's see if this one's any easier. Hey, there we go. All right, so I'm just gonna step back, show you guys that. So something about EVGA Gaming. There you go. EVGA Gaming, and then a Skull Dude. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that away for now. If I can figure out how to do it. Usually the putting away part is even harder. There we are. And without ruining it. Excellent. Okay, next we have a graphics card user guide. At this point, you should probably pretty much know how to use a graphics card. You plug it into the slot, you install the drivers, but not off the disk, off the manufacturer website, as well as a quick start guide in case you want to get started quickly rather than slowly. Highly recommended that getting started quickly rather than slowly, because then your new hardware is in your system and ready to go more quick. All right, we have don't touch your card for 2 minutes after it's been on. We have a mini HDMI to HDMI cable. This is a great inclusion because it allows you to not have to deal with any clearance issues with those adapters if you have a DVI cable plugged into the next slot over. We have dual Molex to single 6-pin PCIe adapter, as well as another one. And finally, a DVI to VGA adapter. Finally, we have the card itself coming out of the wrapper. This is an unwrappering video today, not an unboxing. I mean, we unboxed it too, but we're also going to unwrap it. It's an unboxing and unwrapping video. There it is. If that's not a slick looking card, I don't know what is. I think my white balance is a little bit off because looking at the LCD in my camera, this green stripe looks pretty yellow, but in real life it's actually, there we go. If I there, that's about what it looks like. So it's an NVIDIA green stripe that looks very sharp. It's a nice little accent on an otherwise almost completely black card. Okay, we got white DVI ports too, but I guess we'll let it slide. And a couple stickers. All right, so let's start with the top today. So we've got EVGA GTX 560 Ti. The text is in the correct orientation, such that when you actually install it in your case, you will actually be able to read it. On the top, we also find a single SLI connector, so that means two-way SLI, but not three-way or four-way SLI. Remember, those modes are not supported by the GTX 560 Ti GPU. Next on the back, we have not a whole lot to speak of. Although, maybe what I'll do is I'll find out for you guys whether this is a reference PCB or whether this is a custom PCB. Why don't we go find another 560 Ti? There's a Hawk. Is that a 560 Ti? Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm in the tech tips room, trying to find out if this is a reference card or a non-reference card. So far it looks like a reference card. All right, let's compare the PCB layouts here, guys. That's looking pretty darn reference to me at this point. Now, remember too, just because a manufacturer is using a reference design PCB, that does not necessarily mean that they are using all reference components on it. So they could be using higher quality capacitors or chokes or whatever the case may be. EVGA is renowned for their quality, so who knows what's actually on here, but it does use a reference PCB. Next, we have an open slot at the back, so some airflow is going to be kicked out into your case by the DS cooler here. We've also got two PCIe 6-pin power connectors, although it's not a particularly power-hungry card. At the bottom, we have a PCI Express 16X connector, and we see a couple of big old fat heat pipes. So there are two heat pipes, no, three heat pipes, yes. There, you can see the third one in there now, right? So you got 3 heat pipes covering the GPU, which you can also see right down there. See the GPU itself. And so those are going to be spreading the heat out to the aluminum fins, which you can see all under the dual 80mm fans here. And that is what will do the cooling for your system. You can also see that the VRMs are going to get direct airflow from this fan right here, so you don't have to worry about those overheating at all as well. That's one of the things that is superior about a downdraft cooler design. Now, one of the disadvantages is that although we do on the back have an open PCI slot for exhaust, most of the air is not going to come out of that slot. Most of it is going to be exhausted here, here, not at here, well, yeah, some here. And then some of it will go out the back, but you want to make sure you have decent cooling in your case before you install a card that does not exhaust everything externally. On the back, dual DVI, mini HDMI, and I think that pretty much covers it. Thank you for checking out my unboxing of the GeForce GTX 560 Ti DS from EVGA. Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos.